Hey everyone, and welcome back to a video with Lucky. I don't have a cool YouTube nickname, but I'm here to give you some tutorials. And so today we're going to focus on creating the next page in your fun directory. So if you watched the first video, we made this simple, terrible looking web page, and that's okay. Terrible is fine. Functional is what you want. So we've got fun directory, and we're still on the same page. We haven't changed anything. But if I come up here on the top left, I'm going to go ahead and show you some things. It says page index, first page, any website since basically the dawn of the internet. If you click on that, I've got a few pages here. You might notice one new one called dashboard. That's a page I created just recently. I'm going to go ahead and delete it just so you can see how it looks from the beginning. So I'll click on that, and we've got our basic page. 404, you're going to have those. It's the sad face page. Reset password, and we're going to go ahead and say add new page. Now I know, you know what? I did that fast. I always hate when they do fast tutorials, so let's just jump in here. Click here. Click add a new page. We're going to call it dashboard. Now you can clone it, basically make a copy of another page. I don't recommend it in most cases, and there's a reason. Because when you do that, you kind of lead yourself to more errors and more headache. When you start a new page, unless it's going to be super similar to the previous page, let's start fresh. So we're going to say create. We're not going to do any of this. And we get to a page you guys should all know from the first video. The blank one. Click it. Let's adjust the width. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the height just because that'd be small. And I know a lot of people are probably watching this saying, oh, you should do responsive design. You got to work on responsive design. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not the best at it. I've been doing this since December. And I could still learn a few things. And so you're going to be kind of learning with me. So I might make a mistake. You might have a better way of doing it. That's okay. Bubble's great for that. So we've got this here. This is a blank page, and this is my dashboard. So one thing I showed you in the previous video, we're going to go back to index for a second. Click it again. We've got this little title bar here. And that was my little sign-in area. And it's not reusable. It's just kind of a random thing I came up with. But you'll notice down here we've got reusable things like a header. And if you go in here, you'll also see reusable elements header. And if I click on it, I get my own little page. Well, oh no, this is Bubble. I don't want that to be there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Now notice I'm on the reusable header page right here. And I don't like the dimensions of this screen, but you know what? We're just not going to worry about it. So I'm going to come in here and put my little logo, but I don't want to redo it. So I'm going to come over here and copy and paste it. That's the cool thing about Bubble. You can copy and paste. Now, word of warning, the bigger you copy, the harder it could be to paste because sometimes it'll glitch out the browser. This does use a lot of RAM. So I'm going to go into dashboard. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are probably going to call it my mistake. Header. Come in here, and I'm going to paste it right there. The fun directory logo. It's pretty expensive. And there we go. So we got the fun directory logo. And I might put another, let's see if it has a logout button already. It might already have one. Button logout. Yep, there it is. See? Look at that. Logout already there. That's the cool thing about Bubble. They've already created some of the stuff for you. So you're probably thinking, well, log out. Why isn't it showing up? Well, because they only show up based on certain conditions. So if you click on it, you notice I've got this little text here, text current email, the button, and if I kind of hover over it, you get this little red line, and you can see it's in a container. And I talked about containers in the last video, how important they are. It says group. Come over here, you see containers, group. But basically, it's only going to show up at certain times. And so if you see this conditional box right here, it says when current user is logged in, this element is visible. So the thing about visual programming is it's really taking time and thinking about what the meaning is and making sure you don't have contradictions. Visual programming is not easy. I mean, you're going to see a few tutorials online, but it's not easy. You really have to think. So, but this one's pretty simple. Current user is logged in. Let's make it visible. I can delete it. I can do more things. I can make it like blue or whatever. But that's a conditional. So if my user is logged in, that's showing up. But you're probably wondering, what does this all mean? Well, right here, we've got the reusable elements on the left side. And I'm just going to click header, and I'm just going to click here. There it is. There's my fun directory. So recreating the wheel is something you never want to do. You never want to be the guy who recreates the wheel. And so you notice I put that there, I stretched it out, and now I've got the fun directory right there. Sorry about that. So I've got my first page, and I'm ready to go. So I'm ready to keep going on this page. So this is my dashboard, and I'm going to go ahead and put a side menu. This menu is not going to slide out because we're starting out. Let's just make a little box over here. Let's make this old school. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. We're going to make it a little darker. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm just going in here and making like a little pretty box. And there we go. So we've got this little sidebar here. And we've got a shape. Now, what was the rule I said in the last video? We've got to rename that. No matter what, always rename your stuff. So we'll call this side menu. All right, so I've got that side menu placed right there. I'm going to go ahead and put a little image here. And if you go to a lot of websites, you're going to notice that they have images. And it's usually a profile image that the user has uploaded, but you're going to notice something else. I dropped that box. It's got image here. Let's rename it. But we got problems. First, we got one issue up here. You're going to see this little notification all the time. And so you've got to ignore it to the point where you can work and then come back to it. And the great thing about Bubble, let's look at it. Image profile. Remember to fill out the image source. There's a problem. There's no image source. I'm sorry, can't even pronounce things. I could upload an image, but that's not going to help me because we are supposed to have profile images from the user. And that's not just a static little image I can just put there. So we've got to find that profile image. Well, we've got two problems here. First, we have no database. Well, we got a database, but it's basic. So if I come over here, we've got user. And this is the only information I am collecting right now on that user. That's it. So what you got to realize is every time you do something, whether it be an image or a box that you put in here, it's going to need to relate to something. And if you don't have anything in your database, data, to connect it, then it's going nowhere. Nothing's happening. It's not coming from anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So what can we do? Well, let's just go ahead and create some data types. So we've got user here. And, well, instead of creating a data type, I'm going to create some fields. Think about it like Excel. These are essentially columns. Or rows. I'm sorry. Let's see. Am I thinking correctly? Yes. Yeah, I am. Okay. Just ignore what I say if I'm saying silliness. So we're going to go ahead and put user, or let's not do that. Let's do first name. And we're going to make this text. And I know some people will argue with me on this, but trust me, follow me here. Last name. Make this text. And we've got email, last name, first name. We'll put date of birth, just for fun. And that can be a date type. Every one of these field types is a type. And we'll go through a lot of these, but let's just do date. And one of my favorites is a Boolean value. So we'll say active. So is this user active? Well, this is only going to have a yes or no answer. Let's just make it yes or no. So yes or no are so important to visual programming, and we'll talk a lot about that. But yes or no, great. And we'll say profile image, right? We need to do that. So we'll come up here to image, and we might say something like, let's see, we've got date of birth, blah, blah, blah. Let's do phone number. This one's a little bit trickier. We'll talk about this one later. And I think this is going to be just text for now. And we'll do an address. And this one actually does have a spot. All right. So we've got this information now here, and this is great. We've got a database. Now we haven't obviously put anything in here, and we'll talk more about this later on. But let's go back to our design, which is on the left side. So design data, only thing you should be in right now. So we're in design, and we're here back at our image, and our error is still there. Well, let's make this super easy. Where it says dynamic image. Dynamic means it changes automatically, essentially based on data. So I click that, and it's going to have this little box. It's sometimes hidden. You got to stretch this box out. I'm kind of sensitive about that. Insert dynamic data. And this is really important. You're going to be doing this all the time. So we're going to say current users, profile image. Look how easy that was. It's going to pull the data from here. And so as long as you got everything connected right, it's going to pull there. So I've got current users, profile, image. That's all good, and the error is gone. And so that's how you connect the directory. Now, this is a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it now. But I'll upload this one, and we can go to video 3.